Good evening, everyone. It's Jeanette Martin, brand ambassador for JD Farms. Hey, it's 5 o'clock and it's time to get cooking. Tonight I've got my take on I'm going to teach you how to make a from scratch Caesar salad recipe. It was one of the very first recipes that my dad taught me when he went to culinary school in the early 70s, the proper way to make a Caesar salad. The only thing is I don't have his wooden bowl that our family had for the longest time, so I'm going to improvise a little bit using my cutting board. Going to use the turkey breakfast sausage. So if you turned in last night, I made a keto version. So this is almost a keto version too, because I'm going to slice these really fine and I'm going to turn these into little croutons. I've got a little bit of bacon, and I'll show you my ingredients that I'm going to be using because I've got quite a few of them out to make the Caesar salad, and I always have these ingredients on hand. But I wanted to show you, and I know it's going to be backwards, if you guys are looking for a gift and you're doing your online shopping at JD Farms, we're all about local. And I quoted yesterday the wrong address. We're at 248th and 52nd. They have this incredible book written by Angie Qualley. There's a local store called Well Seasoned, and this is all about the Fraser Valley, and I am so blessed to live in the Fraser Valley. So I wanted to show you my copy. It's been autographed for me, and we are on page 65. And if you can kind of see there, that's Jason, that's Jennifer, and that's Marilyn in there. And their family story is in here that I get to share with you when I go out and I do my demos. And there's a recipe in here that maybe I'll do. It's turkey picadillo. I hope I'm saying that right. So maybe I'll make that recipe one time when I go Facebook Live. It's a beautiful book. If you wanted to send it to somebody for Easter or grab a copy and you work your way through it, it's a great way to know where to shop local and then come back home and create the amazing recipes in here. So I love this book. I'm so blessed that I know Angie, and I know Marilyn, and I know Jason, and I know Jennifer, and I know Jack. So I've been touching my hair, which is in chefy school, that's not what you're supposed to do. So let me wash my hands and I'll be right back. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's get cooking. So my cast of characters, oh, I just touched my hair again. Oh my gosh, I should put my rubber gloves on. So the cast of characters tonight for the recipe, you saw I've got the turkey breakfast sausages that I'm going to come up very fine. So there's going to be little circles that I'm going to saute up. I'm going to start my pan with a little bit of bacon, or rasher as they call that. I'm going to put in a little bit of olive oil. But these are my cast of characters or ingredients for my Caesar salad. I've got an egg in a glass, and I'm going to show you why that egg is in the glass. Some salt, some Himalayan sea salt, some lime, organic olive oil. I didn't have any Tabasco, so I've got some hot sauce, pepper, mustard. Oh, it's kind of dark, so hopefully you guys can see. But I'll pick the ingredients up when I flip it around. Some champagne vinegar. You can use any vinegar you want. Worcestershire. I've got some romaine lettuce that I'm going to show you how I'm going to clean. My bowl. And I've got some Parmesan cheese. Okay? So bringing it back to me. The first thing, oh, and I want to show you something that I do with my board. Ooh, that was a little close, wasn't it? So this is called a double board method. When you're working with meats, you always want to have a separate board, a cloth underneath, so if any juices come out, it's going to go into this cloth. You're going to have a separate knife and a separate knife for your vegetables. So everything's kept nice and clean, okay? So back to me. Please chime in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let's find out. Let's get cooking. So first of all, I'm going to get the rasher bacon. Oops. I put you a little sideways there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. My camera's going a little crazy tonight. There we go. Okay. So I've got my pan set. I was warming it up, so I'm going to put it up to about, say, 325-ish, my electric pan. This is my knife I'm going to use for my meat. So to cut the bacon up, and the bacon's going to go on top of the salad after I crisp it up. Cutting it into little matchsticks pieces. Set my knife aside. Oops. Take a little bit of my olive oil and into my pan. I'm going to say maybe just like a teaspoon of olive oil is all you're going to need to start the rendering of the bacon. Okay. If you have any questions while this is going on, please let me know. Maybe I can put this up a little bit more so. You know what I'm using? I took my car holder, you know, my phone holder that goes on the dashboard, and it's stuck on my windowsill. So I've improvised and adapted during these crazy times. So if you can see, these I took out of the freezer about 15 minutes ago. It's going to make it much easier to cut when they are kind of semi-frozen. If they were completely thawed, they'd kind of go squish. So you want to have them semi-frozen. So I'm going to do 2 at a time. I'm going to cut them probably about a little bit thicker than a penny, because I want them to get really crispy, because they're going to be my crouton. I happen to not like croutons in a salad or in a Caesar salad. I don't know, I just don't like them. I'd rather have a little crispy bacon, and this way it's my meat. So it's kind of a take on a chicken Caesar salad. So into my pan, you're going to hear it start to sizzle over there. Got the lid, just so it doesn't splatter all over me. If you're liking what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. We've got, approaching 7,500 followers on our Facebook page, and we need to know where you're from. If you have any questions about any of the products, I am here to help you or to direct them to the store. In that goes. Clean up my board, and I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll be right back. So now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the lettuce. So this is an organic romaine heart that I have. Going to use the same knife. Nice and simple. You can pull it all apart and you know, do little bite-sized pieces, but in the advent of time, I'm going to use my knife. What I like to do is on an angle cut to get the core out. Just do a little like a V cut in the bottom. Cutting down, bite-sized pieces. And when I get to the top part here, I'll give it a turn, keep it nice and tight. Sliced it in half, and then I'm slicing it back again. Now, normally when I make a Caesar salad for dinner, I will clean the lettuce a long time ahead, put it into, I have a flour sack, like a cloth bag. But in the advent of time, I didn't do that because I wanted to show you what I do with it nice and quickly. So I have a salad spinner, and I hope you heard that buzz. That means my laundry's done. With some ice cubes, okay? So I'm going to put my lettuce in with my salad spinner with the ice cubes. And then fill up this with water. So while I'm making my sauce or my dressing, this is going to be nice and cold, and when I spin it off, and it's so important that you spin your lettuce off very, very dry because you don't want the water to dilute your dressing, okay? So let me just fill this up with water. Okay, now comes the fun part of making the dressing. It's going to give my little circles turn. I want to get these nice and crispy. Okay. Okay, my lettuce is got, just so I can show you. So my lettuce is in my spinner. Remember, I had about 8 ice cubes in there, and I've got my lettuce cut up, and it's just going to hang out there. So any dirt, it's going to fall to the bottom. I'll lift this out, dump the water out, give it a couple spins so I have nice, crisp, clean lettuce. Now comes the fun part. This is what my dad taught me, I think when I was about 10 years old. So we're gonna start, normally I started in my bowl if I had a wooden bowl, but I don't have a wooden bowl, I just have my cutting board. So let me know if you can see what I'm doing. Remember, this is how we clean garlic, is we have the blade pointing away from you, and you give it a couple smacks, and your garlic clove pops out. Okay, I'm going to cut away the little icky part, or the little stem part, because I don't want that in my dressing. Going to give this a big smash with the back of my hand, blade away from me, to crush the garlic. Okay. Gonna run my knife, watching my knuckles, through this garlic. And I want to start making a paste. So this is where the secret comes in. You take a little bit of salt, because we're going to need salt for the dressing, so why not use it now? I'm going to take about a teaspoon of salt and plunk it on my garlic. Okay, and now watch what I do. I take my blade, like so, and I'm going to be pushing the salt into my garlic. You might be able to hear the rocking motion. I bring my board, all my garlic bits back together again. And I'm rocking my knife into the garlic. I want it to be as fine as possible, and that salt is breaking down the fibers of the garlic. Going to rock that one more time. Rocking my knife back and forth. And we pull it forward. So you see how I have this beautiful garlic paste. Be right back. I need to my breakfast sausage croutons need a flip. Oh, I'm telling you, I say this every single time. Somebody needs to invent smell-o-vision. Bacon and turkey breakfast sausages. Oh my gosh, it's smelling delicious in here. And with the garlic in front of me. Leave my lid off so some of that excess steam. Okay. So now in my bowl, I'm going to grab that cloth that was wet before. This is another little trick. You don't want anything to move. Have a wet cloth. Have your bowl. It's not going to move. Okay? Into the bowl it goes. That very fine garlic paste. And now the cast of characters that go into a classic Caesar salad dressing. I've got some anchovy paste. To me, Caesar salad is not Caesar salad unless there's anchovy. You could use, in a pinch, if you wanted to make this a sort of vegetarian, you could use, I have used a miso in the past. So I'm going to add, oh my goodness, probably about a teaspoon of anchovy. And it's not deciding to come out. There we go. Okay. So about a half a teaspoon of anchovy. Turn this up a bit. Try to get those crispier, my little croutons. Okay. Going to add in a big heaping teaspoon of, I only have grainy mustard. Classically, it's Dijon mustard. Goes in. The reason why you want to use mustard, it helps as an emulsifier, okay? At this point, I'm going to show you why this egg is in a cup. If I were just to put this egg in now, it's cold and it's not going to emulsify properly. So a cooking or a culinary term is called coddling the egg. I want to take hot water for a minute on this egg, and it's going to warm the egg up and it's going to emulsify much better. People that are pastry chefs and stuff, you always see pastry chefs have their eggs out on the counter because a warm egg works so much better in baking. So I'm going to run my hot water for a second. So I can get that egg emulsified. In the meantime, I'm going to say half a teaspoon of Worcestershire. And my water's hot enough. So if anybody's got a timer out there, can you time me 1 minute for me and give me a heart so I know my egg is ready in a minute? Okay. My hot sauce, I like it kind of spicy. Couple little shots of hot sauce or Tabasco. Always watching my little croutons over here. Okay, those are crisping up nicely. Turn my heat down just a little bit. Okay, nice big ground of pepper into here. Okay, at this point, I'm going to give this a mix. Blending all that, so the Worcestershire, the Tabasco or hot sauce, and pepper. Now for the quantity, a classic marinade, or sorry, not marinade, dressing is a 1 part vinegar or acid and 2 parts olive oil. So I've got some lemon juice, and I do have a little cup here, but I can eyeball it because I've made this so much. This is going to give me, that's about half of a third a cup. And then I'm going to supplement it with some champagne vinegar that I have. You could use white vinegar. You could use apple cider vinegar. Okay. That goes in next. Mixing it all around, making sure it's well blended. Okay. Oh, I think it's been a minute. I'm going to take my egg out. And you might see little bits of white. That's the egg white starting just to cook just ever so little, and it's definitely warm. I'll use my hands. Giving that a stir, blending that all together. And now comes the drizzling in of the olive oil. So I had a 1/3 acid, and now I have 2/3 of olive oil. This is going to make more dressing than what I need because I'm just a single girl, but this will keep for a couple of 3 days in my pantry. Drizzling it in ever so slowly. Remember that wet cloth underneath is keeping my bowl nice and steady. And you'll see my dressing is made. It's very like a creamy, not the consistency of, say, maple syrup, I guess. Mixing that all together. And what I like to do to correct my seasoning is I take a little piece, dry off my my lettuce, dip it in, see if it needs a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. Ooh, nice little tang there. And my dressing's ready. Now, needs more pepper. So like I said, this is made about a cup for me. And because my lettuce, I only have enough for probably about 1/3 of a cup of this dressing. Gonna pour the rest of it away, and that way you can kind of see as I'm pouring the consistency of this. Okay. I'm going to keep about 1/3 of a cup in for my dressing. Oh, got to give my croutons a stir. Let me pull the camera around over here so you can kind of see my little breakfast sausages, my little pennies are getting nice and crispy. They're going to be a nice texture for my Caesar salad. And the bacon is getting really, really crispy. There's a couple of things. Caesar salad is not Caesar salad without bacon and without anchovy in the dressing. Just saying. Okay, those are getting crispy. So let's come back over here and let's dress my salad. So taking out that water. Okay, I'm going to double spin this. I absolutely love my OXO Good Grips salad spinner. Super duper easy. It's got a nice little break on it. Lift it out. Look at all that water that would have been in my dressing. Yuck. But we're going to do it again. Okay? I want my lettuce really, really dry. I've made a fantastic Caesar dressing. Why would I want to water it down? And in the second spin, look at how much more water came out. Okay, so we have more water that come out. Okay, have my bowl. Careful not to get the ice cubes into my nice crisp lettuce. My forks. Hopefully you can see. Give it a nice toss. Salads shouldn't be drenched with dressing. It just should be coating all the different lettuce leaves. And you don't want to overmix it because then you're breaking down the fibers of your lettuce and it gets stringy. Okay. Let's plate this up. This is going to be a great salad for myself. You know what? I'm going to eat it all. Lettuce is good. Okay. And I didn't bring a lifter, so look at my living room while I go get a lifter, okay? I'll be right back. Got my croutons already. Oh, here we go. My little crunchy bits of breakfast sausages are just not for breakfast. You gotta think out of the box. Our breakfast sausages are 2 of them. If my memory serves me correctly, they're 150 calories for 2. So this is only 300 calories worth of turkey sausage. Oh, and maybe 50 calories worth of the bacon. So altogether, this is probably about, 400 calories and very filling. Get absolutely everything out. Those little crispy croutons. And I have some shredded Parmesan cheese that I have on hand. And here's a little secret. Instead of me putting my hands in there, you can see I've just left a little, I peeled back the plastic and left a little bit open because therefore I use it like a shaker. And that's enough cheese. It helps to control the cheese. So what I'm going to do is I like to do a little freshening at the end of that lemon juice, kind of sparkle up the flavor. That the turkey sausages, it's just going to brighten up the flavor. I love a little extra pepper. And there you have it. A from scratch turkey, a Caesar salad with our JD Farms turkey breakfast sausages turned into beautiful little croutons. And that's what's for Sunday supper. So enjoy the night, everybody. If you have any questions about any of the products that are used in this, the turkey breakfast sausages are available online at our store and for online shopping. I would love to hear any comments. Please forward this video on to anybody who you think would love to learn how to make a from scratch Caesar dressing. I'd like to thank my dad for teaching me so many years ago. It was back in the 70s. I've been eating Caesar salad since I was like 8 or 9 years old. From my family to your family, God bless. From the JD Farms family to your family, please be safe, be healthy, be at home. We want you around for generations to come. Watch our Facebook page for the next time me, brand ambassador Jeanette Martin for JD Farms, goes live again. Bon appetito!